Hey, good Friday morning, my friends. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa, and a kind of stormy day on the way. I'm going to sort it all out for you. What it looks to me like will happen is there's a dying clump of severe thunderstorms moving into western Michigan right now. Probably won't be severe, could produce some small hail. Then it looks like late afternoon and evening we're going to be very warm and humid with the upper level energy around, so I see no reason why we won't have more clumps of thunderstorms, possibly severe. What's interesting is the Storm Prediction Center, we call them the experts in severe weather forecasting, but also those of us that have been in the Great Lakes for years realize that sometimes they don't forecast the severe weather in the Great Lakes. So they can be off, and I think they're going to be off today, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so here we go. Let's say hi to some folks. I'm here. Linda Thompson, good morning. Happy Easter. Good morning, Sterling Heights. So here we go. Now, those storms over when they were in southwest Wisconsin produced baseball-size hail in Platteville, Wisconsin, which is the very southwest corner. Then 1 inch to 1.25 inches hail as they moved toward the Milwaukee area. And now they are what they should be doing. After 9 o'clock in the morning, most of these storms typically weaken because we're going to a more stable atmosphere. The sun is coming up, it's getting on top of the clouds, and it's evaporating the cloud tops, and it stabilizes things. So Muskegon, Grand Rapids, Holland, South Haven, get set for some robust thunderstorms. Probably not severe, but could produce still some small hail. So I would put the car in the garage. Now, the Storm Prediction Center, I woke up this morning and I said, okay, they've taken us totally out of the severe weather chance, and I just didn't get that. They're normally kind of over forecast, and they just carved it all the way out, and then at 8 o'clock they put a little corner back in, and I think they should be right back to somewhere from I would say anywhere south of the warm front would be a very simple way to do it, and that would be from somewhere around Pentwater to Bay City southward. You could have large hail late this afternoon and this evening, so that would be the main threat, I think, and what you'd want to do is park a car in the garage if you can. So there's their severe weather forecast, but I don't really buy it today. It's, I think, quite off. So let's go to the models. And one word also, just for a second, I won't go off long. I do want to alert you that the Weather Service has said that at times the person that puts up the upper air balloon at 100 sites around the country, at times a few of those offices may not have that position staffed for that half hour, very key job. And that data goes into the beginnings of the models, all models for forecasts. So model data could certainly suffer, and of course I use models all the time, so it certainly could cause an issue with the modeling, which is very accurate. Having said that, here's our high resolution rapid refresh, and I do believe that it has all of the data that it normally would. So noon and 1 o'clock, that clump of storms over in Wisconsin will move across central Michigan, weaken as it does so, turn into just a rain with a gentle rumble of thunder. Now we go into the afternoon, 5 and 6 o'clock, and the instability is built. I'm going to show you that. And so these clumps of thunderstorms could certainly produce large hail. It's the time of year when that happens, and also they could produce damaging winds, because when a thunderstorm becomes robust, it can do that. So Probably looking, I don't know that I buy the exact scenario on this, but it should be fairly good that a clump of thunderstorms will roll across central Michigan and the thumb in the, let's call it the 4 to 8 o'clock hour, and then the cold front comes through and thunderstorms develop in the southwest part of the state and move toward Detroit and Ann Arbor. Now at that point in the middle of the night, the instability will be lowering, so those may not be severe, but I would still have the car in the garage. I want to show you this. This is what we call the CAPE, C-A-P-E, convective available potential energy. That means the energy that's stored in the atmosphere for if storms to come through, the food that they can feed on. And we have values. I think 1,000 CAPE is kind of the low end of when severe weather would happen, depending on what else is going on. 2,000 is pretty unstable for Michigan. And when we get into the hot, humid severe weather outbreaks in the middle of summer, Michigan, we might get a 3,000 or 4,000 CAPE versus, let's say, an Iowa or Oklahoma tornado outbreak might have a 5,000 or 6,000 CAPE. So, and by the way, this is model data too. So model data CAPE, all variables off the models, precipitation, amount of snowfall, surface temperature, all that stuff. CAPE, all use the upper air data that could be missing at a few sites. So just think about that. If a balloon didn't go up at 12Z or 8 in the morning at, say, Bismarck, North Dakota, and that area was missing its upper air data, the model doesn't know what's there, and then when it forecasts 24 hours away, it could be wrong for Michigan. So that is one thing that concerns me, definitely. So here's your CAPE, okay, and we go to 3, 4, 5 o'clock this afternoon, 6 o'clock. So, in that 5, 6 o'clock hour, when the temperatures are the warmest, that's when the CAPE is typically the highest, and it's talking about maybe a 2,000. Some of you are scientists and want to know the units. 2,000 joules per kilogram. It's an energy kind of metric. So I think anywhere where you see the light blue from Lansing to Grand Rapids southward would have enough instability for the storms, if they came through that area, to be severe. This is 8 o'clock, 9, 10, and then you see as we get to 11 and midnight and 1 and 2, there's still CAPE there, so still thunderstorms overnight, but just on the edge of what would produce severe weather. So we'll watch that for you. Main threat today, definitely large hail. Put the good car in the garage if you only have one spot. So here's our cold front coming through. This is the rain 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. In that far southeast corner by Monroe, you might have showers at 8 or 9 a.m., but otherwise the rest of lower Michigan is dry. There's some dispute as to whether the Easter egg hunt in Reese, Michigan will have rain, and it won't, in my estimation. Then this is Saturday afternoon into evening, dry, and Saturday night. This is Easter morning. It's cold. So, if you have a sunrise service, you are definitely going to want, I would say, a winter coat on, because you're going to have temperatures in the 30s. You used to do that outside. I don't know if many places still do that anymore. Bob Flynn brings up a really good point, okay? And this is another thing where I do not agree with the Storm Prediction Center right now. We had minimal thunderstorms overnight, and so we have some sunshine, and Bob Flynn brings up a really good weather observation. Thank you, Bob. Bright and sunny currently in Hillsdale. What do I always tell you? If you got sunshine and it heats things up, it increases the volatility, increases the chances for severe weather. So thank you, Bob, for pointing that out. Great observation there. All right, so we go into Easter Sunday, Easter. And in the afternoon and evening, a warm front is going to be moving through by the next storm system, which I'm concerned with this one too, because it's slowed down a touch. It's got all of the features of a severe weather outbreak if the timing works out. And I have to say, if the timing works out wrong, that doesn't sound right. You know, if the timing works out perfectly for this storm in the Monday afternoon time frame, Michigan could be in the heart of a severe weather outbreak. So this is Sunday night. This is toward Monday morning. This is Monday at 2 p.m. The cold front sits from Grand Rapids to Kalamazoo. Now, there may be showers ahead of it, stabilizing the atmosphere. This is what this would kind of indicate, but at times we also get that pocket of clearing just ahead of it, and so in the eastern part of the state Monday afternoon we will definitely have to watch it. And then it moves off to the east. Tuesday dry, a Wednesday dry, and our next storm system brings a southerly wind and then some showers by Friday or Saturday. So about every 3 or 4 days looks like we have a warm, thunderstormy type rain on the way, and none of that blue stuff. We are going to, how about this? Let's officially call winter over now. How's that? I think it is. It is. All right, look at these temperatures. Still up and down. Still up and down. Let's see. Jason DeVoe. I'm losing faith in my Weather Channel app because it is saying only a 15% chance of precipitation all day today. Why such a difference between what you are saying? Let's do this. Hey, let's do this. Then let me come back. Hang on, Jason. Let me come back and address that. But let's do the weather. Get through that. Some very good reasons for this. And this is why I like humans like me. All right, so today, Saginaw 76, Grand Rapids 76, Kalamazoo 78, 78 Ann Arbor, 78, 80 in Detroit. 60s all the way up to the bridge and into the UP. Let's see. So tomorrow, cooler north, still 60 south. Remember, we have a cold front moving through, then the north wind, so that cools us down. And Easter Sunday, I think, is a cool, chilly day with the wind, maybe some clouds coming in. The morning temperature's 30s and 40s, so you're going to need a coat on Easter. Back to the low 70s Monday ahead of that storm system. We'll keep our eyes on severe weather. And just remember, this is what I do. This is what I've done since 1989 and professionally and before that, and it's pattern recognition. Strong cold front, strong upper air disturbance, afternoon or evening in April. You start with the chance of severe storms. And then for it to be something we're really get concerned with, other things have to come into play, like clearing ahead of it and the timing. Okay, so then next Wednesday, 70s. And the ridge that I've been talking about, the warm ridge building, still showing. Thursday, 70s. Friday, 70s to near 80. Saturday in the 70s. And again, it's still up and down, but more up now than down. For every 2 or 3 days we have in the 60s and 70s, we'll have a day in the 50s. And then we're back to the 60s and the 70s mount. And, we're out at April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd. We don't believe that far out on a model because it tries to forecast a wind direction and cool it down. Certainly can happen, but we don't worry about that. One more thing, Jason, then we'll get to your question. Okay, so the ridge is going to be building over the next several days. Remember, I've been targeting all along for about 2 weeks. A weather change April 20th to April 22nd. Looks like it's going to happen. By the way, here is your disturbance on Monday. See that bend? That's a jet core. You slow that down 6 hours, and we could have a very stormy situation in Michigan. And we go to late next week and watch the ridge build and the trough develop off west. That puts us into a southwesterly flow. Now we're at April 28th, we're April 29th, and most of these models way out will dilute it some. So that says to me, May 3rd, we're still in a warm ridging situation. All right, now on to Jason. Yeah, Jason DeVoe's question. Why the app saying 15%? Remember, model data is gridded data with an exact number. So it's a good way to do it, but it fluctuates a lot. It doesn't take the human being into it. So that app, you indicate maybe you're using the Weather Channel app. That app, I don't know what model they use. I'm guessing they use the GFS because it's the easiest one, and it's pretty well a junk model. At your point, one run, it might say 15% chance. Then it brings a thunderstorm complex over. 6 hours later, you see it says 90% chance. Then it moves that thunderstorm complex a little to the south in northern Indiana. The next run, it says 25% chance. That's where an ensemble comes in. You can even do an ensemble of several hours so that it smooths it out and doesn't give you these ups and downs. So that's one of the reasons, is what model is your app using for that time period. And what a human being can do is I can say, hey, let's use the high resolution rapid refresh for the first 12 hours. And then let's go to the NAM, which has usually been pretty good. It's been a little bit iffy lately. I don't know why. And then let's go to the European. Let's look at the GFS, things like that. So you'll have things all over the board. There's your weather update. Key here today is late afternoon and evening, we could have severe thunderstorm in clumps. And those would have the chance with this atmosphere this time of the year to produce large hail. So my advice is, if you've got a car that you love, find a garage to park it in. Okay, let's see. Collins says, let me read this, uses graph model. And I should know what that is, but it may be a model that they have produced, which typically is one of the NOAA models, because there's literally millions of dollars invested in developing that over the years, and then they tweak it some. So I'll have to look that up, but sounds like it's a junk model too. Sounds like they should be using the high resolution rapid refresh, which I think they probably do. So, hey, there's your weather update. I'll keep you updated on this afternoon, this evening, and the more sunshine we get, remember, the greater the chance of severe weather producing large hail. So thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. Do you get an update like this anywhere else? I'm not sure. I doubt it. So have yourselves a good weekend. Happy Easter to those of you that celebrate that. And we will see you maybe this afternoon, this evening, and otherwise on Monday. Take care.